Jen, what's up?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Doing good. No, weekends are always good. But yeah, always feeling like happier on the weekends compared to like regular days. So
Yeah,
today we should talk about happiness.
we should. It's important. I think everyone wants that.
I think that's all everyone seeks now. Like when you're young, maybe like I don't know, popularity or something else. But as I get older, when I ask people what they want, it's just like happiness. And it's
Yeah,
always like, wait, what does that mean? And then they're like, I don't know, still figuring it out.
yeah. We're always figuring out. Like, no one has the answer.
Shit.
Like, I have yet to meet someone that's just like, I'm happy.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. What what do you think it is for you right now?
For me, I'm trying to think of it like in a bit more of a healthy way, like not something I'm trying to chase, but like more like when I feel happy, I recognize it. I think. I'm trying to do that. It's not like I don't know if I'm really doing it, but it seems to work so far. Like my moods are more up that way because I'm not looking for something. Um, but yeah, what about you?
That's good. That's good. Uh yeah, I don't know. Like definitely recently, during this last like year, definitely felt less happy. I was trying to figure out what's
Hmm.
going on there. Like, wait, why less happy? Even like Friday nights when I'm done with work, Saturdays, like weekends, it's definitely been toned down a bit. So yeah, I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was like, yeah, maybe try to figure out what what made you happy before, and try to like come up with something that could fill that void like before. Like what?
Hmm.
Yeah. So still trying to figure it out, but that was like what we talked about yesterday, and it's like, dude, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like as a kid, it was so much easier. I felt like,
Yeah.
yeah, and then now I'm like, yeah, I don't know, figuring it out. But with that session, she was like I like remember times when you thought you were happier, like high school, college. Why did you think you were happier? So I came up with some points like, oh, it was just like way more fun. Classes, semesters, quarters changed really fast. New teachers, classmates, friends to hang out with, more free time. And then she was like, you probably like the reward of like completing a class. You had a set goal in mind, and you work towards those goals, and you got a reward once you got your grade and you passed the class. Then now adult life, not as much of that, just like work. Nothing changes as much. No reward cycle.
Hmm.
She's like, you seem like you're goal oriented. So lacking goals now probably makes you not as excited and less happy. So I was like, shit, now I got to
But
find
I feel like
a
you
goal.
do have goals.
Not that much right now, I realize. Um, yeah, not too much right now because I guess career wise, done. No more school goals, no more real big career goals, no more job hopping. Pretty, um, yeah, I think this is the job I want to stay at for sure.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, no, not looking to apply. Before it was like apply, get a new job, get a better job, and that goal's been complete now. So it does feel goalless. Yeah. What about you? Do you have like do you have situations like that where it's like you have like mini goals that you're accomplishing like consistently? Like, do you keep a lot of short term, long term goals?
I think with me, because my life changed so much, I had to make new goals. Like, so I have been changing careers in the last year, and always been learning. So I think like somehow my lifestyle just allowed me to have the goals. And I think I'm still, the thing is like with me is my goal, like while I'm learning, is I want to get better. But then once I'm better, then I want to get better. So I guess like I've been not noticing it, but I have been setting goals in a weird way.
Yeah. No, for
Like that.
sure.
Yeah.
I see that with you this past year, for sure, for sure. Do you get like have you accomplished a lot of them? It seems like you have.
I feel like I have, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm doing it healthy way because I don't think I celebrate too much. So it's like, okay, I finished. Okay, now for the next thing. Like I just feel always kind of like I'm trying to reach for something. But I don't know if like maybe inside like I'm happy. I am happy that I reached it, but maybe I don't spend enough time appreciating that I met it. Maybe I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I know. Like, she told me that's probably what like people who like setting goals want. Once you reach one, get another one. because she's like,
Mhm.
we're going to climb one mountain. If like climbing one is your goal, you like focus on that one. Then once you climb it, it's like onto mountain number two, like a new goal. You know, and people just keep doing that. People who like setting goals and accomplishing them. So that's good. That's good. It sounds like you've been doing that like naturally. You know, like
Yeah. I don't know if I'm happy though. It's still a good question.
yeah, it's weird because when you're like grinding towards a goal, you're not happy because you're not there, right? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm there. And then now I feel like I'm there technically on paper with my goals, but I feel so like lost. Like, dude, this isn't what made me happy. So I actually asked her that, like, hey, you've been a therapist for 4 decades. No matter what the goal is, whether it's career, like relationship, you know, have family, house, and stuff like that, how common is it for people to reach their goal to be like, oh, this is it? Like, this wasn't what I
Yeah.
was thinking. She's like, oh, it's common. It's
Oh.
it's super common. Like, no one, yeah, oops, sorry, laptop with my background screen on my other laptop is like orange, so it has a crazy reflection. But no, she's like, no, it's super common. You're gonna, yeah, she said it's super common, like really common for people to think like their goal is to like have a family or a house or whatever. And I was like, isn't that kind of morbid? And
Yeah. So they reach because some things you can't turn back.
yeah, no, for sure, stuff like that. And she's like, no, it's really common, super common.
How would they go about that then? Like they have to just set new goal. Like what's the answer? Was there an answer?
Um, no, no. At least specifically for me, I didn't ask more about the other people. But specifically for me, she's like, try to find out more of who you are. Try to find a new goal that you'd be excited to pursue. She's like, you're probably not happy and excited for much to do. Because I told her like I've been sleeping a lot. Like last 3 weekends, I've been sleeping a ton. And she's like, do you know why? I was like, I don't know. Maybe to like escape reality. Nothing really exciting to look forward to as much. And she's like, yeah, no, try to find some new goal that you're excited for, like that gets you excited. And I was like, man, I thought accomplishing all the ones I've done so far would be chill. And she's like, no, you should try to find some new ones. So just trying to figure that out. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah. Did you feel like you were like happier when you were younger versus like adult life?
For some reason, I feel like I was always struggling. Like there was a point in time, I think like maybe 2 years ago, where I felt like I was in a good place, because it was kind of like a stable career that I liked doing. And then it was also like on the side when I had free time, I would pursue like microblading and stuff. So that was like something I enjoyed doing also, but also like I was growing with that. And it always felt like I could always try and scale it a little bit more. And like, so I was still always learning. So I was actually at a very good place, I guess, with something stable and with something kind of risky at the same time. Like I feel like if it was just something risky, it's a lot scarier. I probably won't be as happy because you're stressed.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yes, that balance was the ideal situation.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. But always struggling, even when you're younger, like high school, college. Did you feel happier or less stressed back then?
It's weird. You stress about different things when you're younger though, right? I feel like when you're 15, 16, you don't have your freedoms. So you're stressing about like being allowed to go out. Or at least I was. My household was kind of like strict. Um, you struggle with like self-image issues and stuff and like a lot of inadequacy. Confidence, I think, is a big one, like when you're younger. So I don't even know if I was happier when I was younger. What about you though? I feel like you were happier when you were younger, maybe.
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah, just more carefree, always like amped, like what are we gonna do? Like the randomness, of like hanging out, new hobbies, drinking
Right.
parties, stuff like that. And then yeah, I asked about that. Like, hey, on average, are people happier when they're younger? And she's like, yeah, generally on average, people are. As you get older, more responsibilities. Um, she was like, there's a reason why you typically see grumpy people. You think of like older people, not like. So that's true. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Then I asked her, like, what's your definition of happy to my therapist? She's like, David, she told me she's never been some optimist, bubbly person, even though she is like when she's helping me out. She's like, no, I'm a pessimist. So honestly, I know that about myself. My happiness when I'm happy is just when I'm not angry or mad, like my baseline. And I was like, dang, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, then when I asked about, it was kind of, I like how she keeps it real with me, but she's like really positive when helping like me out, during her line of work. But she definitely seemed real when she was like, no, I'm a pessimist. My happy is just when I'm not sad. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
That's interesting. Is she content with that? Like, I wonder.
Like she's like, sometimes you have to accept like this is adult life and maybe you're just growing up. And I was like, damn, crazy, crazy. Yeah,
But
no,
she's content, I guess. Like, she kind of knows herself. And
yeah,
she doesn't strive to be unhappy. Because that's interesting. Is she's like default pessimist, or she doesn't. What's a pessimist? Like, you just don't see things coming out positively. Like, you don't expect it. So when it does, you're kind of like, okay, is that how that works?
oh, I see it. That's how I see it. Like if you're uncertain about things in the future, an optimist like me focuses on the best case outcome, then I think the pessimist focuses on the worst case, or like they think it's more likely that the worst case will happen, or at least that's my interpretation of it. So it's like, say you're applying for a new job, I'd probably be like, oh, like think about all the changes that would happen if I did get this job, and like, oh, we'll change this, I'll change that, start planning for that. Like, oh, when I have to move cities, like I'll explore that area. Wonder if coworkers would be cool. Like that's kind of the vibes I get when I get an interview for a new job. But maybe a pessimist would be more like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. They don't want me. Like,
Mm,
whatever. Like, at least that's my interpretation. I don't know though. What do you think?
I think that makes sense. Like, I guess it just, like, so yeah, a pessimist and an optimist are both thrown in the same situation. The optimist would be like, oh yeah, this could happen. This could happen, but they're all positive, like, predictions. And then the pessimist would, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Because maybe, like, they don't want to get hurt again. So then, like, but no matter what, like, the situation's the same, but depending on how they look at it, then that's how they interpret it. And then whatever happens, like, it can still sway, I guess. But that's what we define it, like, their way of thinking, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like that example that everyone uses, like glass half full or half empty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got a rejection. Like, oh, whatever, that was a good experience. Got more interview experience. Met people
Yeah.
almost not really close because they interviewed me and stuff like that. That'd be the optimist point of view, I think, and the pessimist would probably be like, oh, I should have, I don't know, maybe study harder,
Yeah.
or I'm not good enough for that position, maybe something like that. But
I wonder if you can change that or if that's just inherent.
I asked about that. I asked about
Ooh.
personality. Like, hey, what do you think? Can people change their personality types? Um, she said overall personality types. Her thinking, everything she's seen, she thinks it's genetic and it's a part.
Mm.
Or she says it's a part of you, and she thinks some of it is genetic. Like she's like, you start seeing kids' personalities at the age of 1, like babies.
Oh.
So she's like, no, I think your inherent personality is you're born with it. Like she thinks it's just a part of you, largely genetic. She said too, but she said, but that doesn't mean people can't change. Like a big example she brought up was people can definitely change. Like she's met people who they're like drug addicts, like never had stable jobs, like the worst of the worst situations. Do you know there's state mandated therapy sessions? I had no
Oh.
idea. Yeah, at least in America, there's like some mandated ones because that was part of the questionnaire. She's like, "Is this a mandated?" Back when I first met her, like, "Is this mandate therapy?" I was like, "No, they have that." She's like, "Yeah, the state can force you. I think the courts can force you sometimes."
Oh, right. I see. Like if you're, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess.
she was like, "Yeah."
Did you choose to be here or did someone force you to come here?
Exactly. Oh man, that's deep. But yeah, that's heavy. I mean, but yeah, she was like, I know. I've seen the worst of people. She used to work for the state or county. She's like, I've seen the worst of it, and there's people like druggies, all that, like the worst that I've ever seen. But and then they have their kids taken away from them, and
Hmm.
like I've seen some incredible change once people have their kids taken away from them. Like, that's probably the biggest driver of what will get someone to change. Like they will, even though they're addicts and everything's like super shitty right now, they'll do whatever it takes to get their kids back. So she's like, she's seen addicts become unaddicted,
Hmm.
recently get better and recover there. So she's like, no, people can definitely change. She's not saying people can't.
Okay.
Everything's inherent. Like,
But it has to be like like a major life-changing event, I guess, that would make them change.
yeah, at least there's big examples of that happening. So I definitely think people can change. It's just hard. I think it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard to police yourself. Like, I think.
No, for sure. For sure. No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happiness. Are you trying to do anything specifically to like?
To be happier?
You're not really chasing it, right? You're just trying to notice when you.
I'm not chasing. It's funny though. I feel like I've always had it in me to be like, if it's something I can not stress about, I would choose not to stress about it. I try to do that. Like deadlines coming up, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna. And then I would try to solve it a little bit, but then I'd be like, okay, don't stress about it unless it's too late. Like I would try that, and I feel like it's worked for the most part. But I know it's like it's hard to control stress though, right? It's like an emotional response to
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
for sure.
Mm.
Do you think
Yeah, or think about like what's the worst that could happen, and then you think about it, so you kind of like prepare yourself mentally already. So it's like,
no, for sure, for sure.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, no. I definitely feel like climbed the mountain and not happy, especially with COVID and everything. So I'm like, yeah, trying to figure it out, But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually trying to figure out. She's like, maybe try to find some hobby, something new that you can strive for, that will give you better short-term goals. She's like, yeah, I don't know. Not like ultra, no more school, no more applying for jobs, like I said, not ultra, like,
Right, like nothing like stressful.
nothing like crazy, not trying to climb any crazy thing at work or whatever, just like do a good job and that's fine. So it's not like crazy goals there. Yeah, exercise goals. That's been there. So I told
Yeah,
her gym goals, exercise goals. Been working on that, but it's still not satisfying. I feel like so. She's like, yeah, try to find something. So I'm trying to.
is it the progress that's not satisfying, or is it like you don't actually like going to the gym, or like?
Oh, actually got some good progress like last 4 months since gym's reopened and been going more. So that's been good. So I told her like that was good. And we got back to it, but I don't have the ultra meathead vibes that I had like years back. Like oh, let's get like super ripped. Like because I talked about that too, like how like some hobbies, you get really into it for a year or so, and then you still maintain it, but you're not as into it. And she's like, yeah, then it's time to find something.
Right.
Time to find something else. And I was like, yeah, I guess I don't know. Goals, fun stuff. She's like, what is fun? I was like, I guess dates and stuff are fun sometimes, but still draining. I was just like, sometimes that stuff gets draining too, but you never know. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, depends on what you're looking for. She told me she has a lot of clients that are female that have to, she has to tone it down for them because they're like dating, dating's bringing them down and not making them happy. Yeah, so that was interesting too. She's like, a lot of times I have to tell them like, hey, you wouldn't do that. Like, try to treat it as a friend first, like don't get too ahead of yourself. And it's just like, man, I like how she gives me examples from other people. So
Yeah.
that's the part I really like actually about talking with her because she'll bring up other examples from other clients. Who's like, hey, you're not alone in this, like COVID's
Yeah.
been wild. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
happiness.
Dating can be draining for sure, and it's like it's just so weird now. Everything's so unnatural because obviously, like, it's so much easier. Like, you meet people off the apps. Like, how else are you gonna meet people? Like, if you already had a friend of a friend, you would have already met them. You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's like a cold lead, and you never know what you're gonna get, and it's stressful too.
Yeah, no, true, true. But yeah, on happiness, dude, what percent? I wonder what the percentage breakdown would be. If you pull the whole world, even the whole world, like how happy are you from like 1 to 10?
Hmm.
I wonder what it would be by location and you know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I wonder if there's data. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. But no, it's a good topic. It's a good topic. I think that's all that everyone's looking for. Because the big thing I brought up to her too was like, why, like 34 now. 7 years ago, I finished college at like 27, or got my first full time job at 27. Like, how come at 27 I had, you know, negative net worth, like owed student loan debt, and didn't know what I was doing. with my life or career, and I was way happier then versus like now, like 7 years later, like saved up way more, like out of debt, and know what I'm doing with my career more. She's like,
Yeah.
a good mystery. Let's try to figure it out. What back then do you think is missing now? And I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe it is you really don't know do you know what you want for your future? Like in the next couple of years, do you know what you would want differently from what you have now?
No, she told me try to do some soul searching and think about it. She's like, you know what you want. But no, I realize I don't, because before I was so focused on the keep hopping job to job. And I think that's why what I missed from like school and high school and college, like things changing around all the time, get bored. So it was like, oh, bored of this job, let's find a new job. So I was always like consumed by like, oh, let's just keep finding better jobs and hop around and see what I like. And now that I'm here where I'm at now, and I don't think I should hop anymore, because where I'm at now I think is good. It's like what I focus on. And she's like, yeah, there was something that you were working towards before, But yeah, I don't know. I told her about like the whole, remember had the dreams of like, kids or house, like you never know if that'll happen, but definitely not always like, it's never been like, oh, this is always a goal of mine, have kids, house, family, like it could happen, but I'm not saying it was like a big goal of mine. So I really don't know.
I guess it's time to start thinking about that though, that way. Like, what if you do want that ultimately?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What you want to do?
I know that I don't want kids, for sure. So I would just want to, well, I have a boyfriend now, but like for me, my goal is to have a partner that I can be with for as long as possible. Like I feel like marriage might work for people who want to have kids, like it makes sense, but like for me, at the end of the day, it feels like a piece of paper, and it just makes things more complicated, like if things go wrong. Like I wouldn't want to stay in something because I'm married to that person if it's not working out. If you tried everything and it's not working out, like I don't want that. So that's why I don't believe in marriage for myself. Yeah.
Well, at least you know that about yourself.
Yeah.
You always know that, but no kids, no marriage.
No, that was about, I think, maybe 3 years ago. I started really thinking about it, because then I only thought about it because my boyfriend at the time was not someone who wanted to have kids and get married, and then it's like, oh shit, so I don't want to waste your time, so maybe I should really start thinking about it. and then I thought about it more and more. I'm like, oh shit, that's not really what I want. So ultimately that didn't work out, but that's kind of what pushed me to really think about it, because I didn't want to like screw someone over.
No, at least you know that.
Yeah.
I think knowing's a big part.
Yeah. Like having an answer. I think it's good for the most part. Like, know what I want. But it's also like you never know what you're gonna get, like dating wise, I guess. Like I didn't expect to go with the person I'm going up with now. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen. But I kind of know, like generally that's like what I want in the future. Like I don't want kids and stuff like that. So
no, that's good. Knowing that's huge.
So you need to ask yourself, I guess. I don't know.
I know. I think
it's so hard though.
Go with the flow, and I'll see. But yeah, like you said, the exciting part is not knowing what's going to happen. Not knowing. Being excited about it is more optimistic than being like, shit, I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah. I'll see. Just going with the flow, but just surviving COVID. I can't believe it's August already. Jeez.
Yeah, it's been like a year and a half of COVID, basically.
Yeah, August.
Almost.
I'm gonna be finding a new apartment for next month, and then.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, September. So I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be living on my own. So it'll be the first time living on my own.
Oh, that's so exciting! Congrats.
Thanks. So, yeah.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna start looking for apartments for sure soon. So that'll be.
So I guess your lease is over and everyone's just kind of going their separate ways, kind of thing.
Yeah. I just want to be really close to work, and then my roommate's now going to move close to San Francisco. So.
It worked out.
Yeah. No, it worked out. Be cool.
Oh, exciting.
But no, we good. Tracking happiness as we go on and continue.
Yes.
It'll be interesting, to see the moods and everything, what's making us happy, not happy, and figure it out over time. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's good that we even thought about it to talk about it. Otherwise, I could just not know. Yeah.
And it's good just hearing other people's points of view, like your point of view. It's like, wow, everyone's different,
Mm-hmm.
A one thing that works for one person might not work for another, and goals and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Good
Yeah.
times. But yeah, I know you had to go, right?
Yeah, I think I have to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good chat. Good chat. We'll chat.
Yes. We'll chat more next week. Okay. Bye, David.
Bye.
Thanks for today.
Yeah, you too.